played politics with Chukwuma Okoro. Take a listen.
Barrister Adam, what do you call what happened in Ibadan on Saturday regarding the PDP's convention? We had separate court orders, one from Ibadan stopping, approving of the convention too, and another from Abuja Federal High Court saying no, INEC don't observe that convention. And the fact that the new National Public Secretary, Emma Mobon, has said, look, the party didn't violate any rules, any constitutional provisions or the Electoral Act. You're a lawyer. What's your take on what went down in Ibadan on Saturday?
Well, my take, first of all, thank you very much. My take is that the convention that was held at Ibadan, is a voidable convention under the law.
Voidable?
Voidable, yes. Okay. Voidable. I will not say it is void. It is only the court that will determine whether it is void or is void ab initio, or voidable after whatever. See, why I'm saying this is that, you see, before the convention took place, there was an order of court, from the Federal High Court. Okay. The Federal High Court is a well-constructed, court with jurisdiction to entertain, such matters. And the litigant that went to that particular court was a former governor of Jigawa, Sule Lamido. Yes. He went in there and one of his reasons for going to court is because of the fact that he said that he was denied, picking the form for the chairmanship of this particular whatever that is of the convention that is taking place. And number two, that state congresses were not properly held or they were not held at all. You understand? So those were the grounds on which he went to court and he got that particular order. The order is a subsisting order. Under Section 287 of the 1999 Constitution, the moment a court of law that is validly constituted, and has jurisdiction, makes a pronouncement, that particular order becomes, current and is there to be executed. And all Nigerians, authorities, in fact, the section, says that institutions and individuals are bound to obey it and even when they execute it, as the case may be. INEC, for instance, is an institution. They are bound, or they were bound to obey that particular order. The governor of Oyo State and even the members of PDP are Nigerians. They are bound to obey the order until the order is vacated. Whether it was an ex parte order or not, whether it was gotten, or whatever the case may be, or it was taken through the back door, as far as that particular order, was, given, it became subsistent. Okay. So the only way you can do that is not on the pages of newspapers. You have to go to that, maybe the court or a higher court to vacate it. That is the situation. So in that wise, you find out that the order was valid before they now got another order of, from a state, high court. Okay. As the case may be in Oyo State, Akintola, I heard, is the judge that, gave that particular order. What today we refer to as conflicting, orders, yes. As the case may be. It's anathema, it's an aberration. Because even the NJC has, said that...
Has reacted.
Not even before today. Okay. Before now, before today. In, I think, 2004, the current CJN, Kekere Eko, yes. Was against it and said judges should refrain, from giving, orders that are conflicting. So that it does not further erode, the confidence the Nigerian people have in the judiciary, as the case may be. Now, as far back as 1974, it's been like that, which means courts have been giving conflicting orders, etc., as the case may be. And right from that 1974 till today, the courts and institutions have said there is no need for you to begin to, when a court has given a valid, order, then you now, court of coordinate jurisdiction, you now go again and give another order. That is, for me, it doesn't make sense.
No, Barrister,
so it's
let's make some progress here. The Ibadan court order,
yes,
came like 5-10 days,
yes,
1 week before the order that said, look, Sule Lamido should be brought into the mix before the convention.
Yes.
Now, at that point, Justice Akintola said, look, there is nothing stopping that convention. PDP, go ahead and conduct your convention. But I think the order that said you don't have to exclude Lamido came on Friday, either Thursday or Friday, before the convention held on Saturday. In fact, it was on Friday when the court in the morning said, look, you don't have to exclude him. You have to go back, make sure that he is in place because, I mean, he had breached his fundamental human rights to contest, to vote and be voted for in all of that. Barrister, if Sule Lamido comes and says, okay, like the MMO the National Public Secretary said, we are discussing with Lamido. If Lamido comes out and says, it's okay, everything is fine by me, would that convention still be voidable if another person goes to court?
Absolutely so.
If another person goes
absolutely
to court,
so.
that his interest was injured.
Absolutely so, because I can draw from it. Precedents of a court today, precedents of courts were given not by people like, I was not party to suit, but I can draw from a particular judgment of court to say, based on this particular judgment of court, I am acting as this, or I'm doing this. Based, you understand the point now, on the doctrine of a stare decisis. Courts have given decision. So that particular decision remains standing. Even if at the end of the day, I go out to now begin to negotiate with whoever I want to negotiate with, it's a valid order. So the only thing that can happen is not by word of mouth. Because the court is not a kangaroo court. Courts are courts of records. So the record of the court is that there was another given on XYZ day. And until and unless we come through the same process to either vacate the order, as the case may be, you understand the point now, that order remains. If they have settled, they can go before the courts, the higher appellate courts or whatever, and destroy the particular order that was given. So that particular order cannot begin to operate in vacuum, as the case may be. So the order was cast in stone, as the case may be, until it is set aside. You cannot set aside the order of court, by mere sitting in the beer parlor and begin to agree that we have settled, whether that particular order is persisting or, is still subsisting, as the case may be. So, two, is that let me even put it very succinctly straight. Like, among the chairman, whoever said, that they have the right to go. It is not true. The NJC in 2021 or thereabout, under the era of Mohammed Tanko, suspended and stunted the growth of 3 justices. One in Cross River. I don't want to call their names. The record is clear. The second one is in River State. The third one is in Kebbi State. What happened? In the suit involving one Prince Uche Secondus, in these 3 matters, of course, of concurrent and coordinate jurisdiction, High Court. People went in there, shop for whatever, got an order. They went to this thing, got an order. They even went as far as Kebbi State, very close to Chad Republic now, to go and get an order. You understand the point now? As at that time, the agency said, look, the misuse of ex parte orders, these orders they got were ex parte orders. It was not a ruling or judgment based on its merit. They were ex parte orders. That is a one-way ticket that the other party was not even heard, as case may be. Do you understand the point now? So the court, the agency, under the chairmanship of, Tanko Mohammed, the CJN, former CJN at that time, set up a committee to look into these complaints. And that committee was headed by the retired Justice of Supreme Court, Mary Odili, who was the vice chairman of the NJC at that time, to look into, this whatever. It was just cantankerous the way we have it now. Conflicting judgment. And you know what happened? The NJC wielded the big stick on those justices and said, you have brought the judicature to public obliquity. You brought them again so that people begin to annihilate them. And there's what we call anarchy. That is, we are bringing anarchy into the judicial platform and firmament. And they were reprimanded. Not just being reprimanded by a slap on the wrist, no. 2 of the justices or judges had their promotion stunted for 5 years. That is, they cannot go beyond the level they are. even if they merited it, but they cannot be elevated for 5 years, from 2 years to 5 years, as the case may be. So, and that particular, order or judgment by the NJC is still in full force today. Which means it's a precedent that we can draw from. You understand? So when you begin to say it doesn't really matter, you can say so, but what you are doing, you are putting those judges in trouble.
Okay, we'll talk about judges now.
Yes.
But one thing you've been able to establish here is that, look, even if PDP settles with Sule Lamido,
absolutely,
there are still line mines.
There's so many.
An interested party who feels injured can go to
court and say there's something, there's another.
Stopping that convention.
That's right.
And it helps.
But it's affecting me.
Okay, now, let's take for granted that one is settled. Now, the new National Public Secretary of the PDP, Obong, says that, look, INEC doesn't need to come and observe that convention. That statutorily by requirement, what the PDP needs to do is just to write them, which they acknowledge. That acknowledgement is enough, whether they inform them, whether they observe or not. What does it? Can you help us with what the Electoral
Act is very clear that they have to monitor the conventions.
Okay.
The reason why they are monitoring is not to go and dictate to you.
Okay.
To ensure that there was fairness. That is, the Electoral Act is very clear. I can't remember the section now, but I'll dig it out and get it.
Okay.
But it's clear. It says they shall be there.
Okay.
And it's not just INEC. When you talk about, it said the commission. That is what he said. So not by REC, not Ibadan, not a resident electoral commissioner in Ibadan. It's from the headquarters.
From the headquarters.
It's from the commission, not REC. You understand? The courts have said that when the commission is being mentioned, they are talking about the headquarters and the 5 the bodies that form the Independent Electoral Commission. The recs are under them.
Okay.
Staff like you have recs, Resident Electoral Commission of State, you have SIEC, but there's the commission consists of about 4 or 5 bodies.
Okay.
You understand the point now? Those are the people they are talking about. Until and unless they now give the premature authority and authorization to a rec to go and represent them. If you go to the maybe Agodi Ibadan to go and pick a rec from Oyo Ibadan, whatever, and say it's monitored and it's signed, that is not what the law is talking about. He says that it has to come from them. If they can delegate and say, okay, you go and monitor, as the case may be. So you don't just go there and pick a staff, write a letter to them or whatever. Meanwhile, the main INEC has been restrained. That is, the commission has been restrained. So any other body acting outside of that restraint, without the authorization imprimatur from the commission itself in Abuja, is doing an exercise in futility.
Okay, a lot of line mines.
That's right.
Let's come back. Talking about the courts, what do you make of these court judgments based on the internal affairs of the party? We had a Supreme Court that said, look, whatever goes on in a party is internal affairs of a political party.
Yes.
So why are courts jumping into issues that border on?
So if, for instance, a quick one, logically speaking, realistically speaking, so if, for instance, internal party affair, you are having a stadium, whatever convention, and there's breakdown of law and order, police will run away and say they will not even intervene and arrest people that have shot people with guns, or stab people, break people's head, to say, oh, it's internal affairs of PDP. We can't interfere.
No, but
you understand the point now?
No, I don't understand. This is
I'm telling you, I'm saying, if you say that, the reason I'm coming, I know where you are going. I know where
specific on that.
I know where you are going. For me, you have to go and read the judgment.
Okay.
You don't have vest.
Okay.
People have vest. That is the problem. And that what the court was saying there is that except if no fundamental breach of the person's rights to disenfranchise him. You understand the point now?
No,
so good. Let me put it this way.
Yes.
If I'm a member of a political party and there's a convention, I'm supposed to be a delegate, I am supposed to vote. But one way or the other, I was restrained from going to carry out my duty in that political party to either vote for my candidate of my choice
or be voted for.
And they told me to go. They asked me to go. I couldn't penetrate that. It happened in River State, in APC River State, during the Amechi era. That's why you had 2 polar DC today in River State. What happened was this. a group who were holding APC by its jugular at that time during Buhari time, you know, had to go and conduct conventions of this nature, state delegates, whatever, in Port Harcourt. You understand? Then Amechi and his group now went to court to say, look, we bought forms. These are the receipts that we use in buying forms. We wanted to participate. All our candidates in our own faction were not even allowed into the stadium. You understand the point now? Many of those of us who were delegates were not allowed into the stadium. We were disenfranchised. They now went to court under section 46 of 1 because their rights were muzzled by the party. The majority will have their way, but minority will have their say.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Till today, that is why you find out that APC in Rivers State is in limbo. Because court judgments upon even Court of Appeal reaffirmed and said, yes, we cannot intervene or interfere in internal affairs of a political party, as the case may be. But when it involves, you know, disenfranchisement, when it involves breach to my rights.
Okay, breach to his fundamental
human rights.
Okay.
That's why I made the example and the allusion to the fact that what happened in Ibadan, assuming there was gun shooting and there was violence inside the stadium. So the police cannot go there and arrest the situation and even arrest those people who are causing trouble.
The police will be naturally doing a law and enforcement.
No, but it's
I think the problem people have is the issue of when it involved the leadership selection of the party. The Supreme Court said
nobody is disobeying the leadership. What Lamido is saying
is his fundamental human right.
Yes, it's fundamental human right. And he said that there was no due process. So because you cannot intervene in internal affairs of a political party, then you allow illegalities to thrive, and the court will throw their eyes away. There was no state delegates, whatever Congress that was held. Once Congress was not held, then you now allow illegality to go.
So about the state and local government Congress.
Yes.
The new National Public Secretary also said, look, that they made a quorum. That they had the number of
they have to see what they needed to do. Let me tell you. Instead of forum shopping, what would have happened for them to go and attack with these facts they have now? Attack the ruling of whatever the suit before Justice Lifu. Because Lamido is saying that, one, they did not follow due process. Two, that they even breached the constitution of PDP. I don't know if you know. These are germane grounds.
Him.
Yes, he stated all those things. These are his grounds. And they are germane and genuine.
No, Barry.
So what happens is that let them go and attack those particular whatever.
I think we have left the issue of Sule Lamido. What I'm saying now is, Memo Bong said, when people raise the issue of there are some states that didn't come with delegates, and he said, no, well, unfortunately, those states didn't come. But despite that, we also had a quorum, 2/3.
That is his own opinion. His own opinion.
It's constitutional.
That is what they will say. Even Wike'S will tell you it is constitutional what they are doing. Lamido will tell you that it is constitutional what they are doing.
So at the end of the day,
the same constitution of PDP.
At the end of the day, it is the court
that will decide. It is the court. So
will be the final.
You see, when you give an opinion, just as I'm giving my own opinion now, does not mean that I'm right 100%. Okay. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. In the old board or whatever demands, he's entitled to his own opinion. But tomorrow you will hear somebody from the other camp and he will bring out sections of the PDP constitution that was breached. And he begins to tell you that what they did there was not supposed to be like that. So which opinion will not supersede the other? That is the question I'm asking.
Okay, now, Barrister, something